Hello, what's up guys? You're welcome back once again here to our channel. So in this video, I want to be telling you guys which rabbits to feed more in your farm. So a lot of people don't really know a particular rabbit to feed the right amount of feed. They don't really know the rabbit to feed more. They don't know the rabbit to feed high. They don't know if to feed their female rabbit more, the breastfeeding mothers, the pregnant rabbits, the growers, the winners. They don't know the right amount of feed to feed all these rabbits specifically. Because as you guys know, if you tend to feed your rabbit a lot of feed and your rabbit overfeeds, your rabbit might get what we call bloating. And bloating is not really nice for rabbits. Bloating can actually make you lose your rabbit within a short period of time. It's a very bad one. You don't want to experience that in your farm. So you need to know the right amount of feed to feed each of your rabbits specifically. So if this is your first time coming across our channel, here in our channel we teach you how to become a successful rabbit farmer and also a rabbit breeder and also a pet owner. So if that's what you find interesting, consider liking this video and also subscribing to our YouTube channel so you get more and more of this kind of our videos to your screen. So let's start from what rabbit to feed more in your farm. So when it comes to feeding rabbit, there are a lot of things you need to put into consideration. From the male rabbit, you should be feeding it normally. Like if your farm standard, we are going to be using a farm standard that feeds 100 grams of pellets or 100 grams of feed every day. So if you are feeding 100 grams of feed every day, your male rabbit should get 100 grams of feed in a day. If that's what you are feeding, your grower rabbit should get 100 grams in a day. But there are some of the rabbits you don't need to feed up to that 100 grams, like the winners, especially winners that are not plenty of them in the cage. Winners should be given at least half of what you are giving in your farm, like 50 grams. Because if they tend to take a lot of this feed, it might cause them bloating, especially leaves. It might also cause them bloating. So you should try to reduce the amount of feed you give to your winners, especially if you are using like 100 grams. Try as much as possible to cut it into two. Give your winners little quantity. Winner rabbit don't really eat much, so you don't need to just stock up feed inside their cages and they will keep eating. Rabbits keeps eating, like just like chicken. When once you put food for chicken, they will keep eating it, and also they will be wasting your feed. So you'll be losing money, because when you come in the morning, especially if you are using a powdered feed, you need to pour out the old one to put a new one, because it's not really nice to leave in the old feed there and still adding new feed. That's not really a nice one. So you need to feed them little quantity where they can finish it and it won't cause problem to them. So the rabbit that should be fed more in your farm should be like the pregnant rabbit, the breastfeeding mothers, and the rabbit that are with babies, that their babies have started eating. So let's take for instance, you are feeding 100 grams of pellets every day in your farm. So your pregnant female should be getting like 120 grams, because most times if it's almost due dates for the rabbit to give birth, they tend to cut on the amount of feed they are eating. They don't eat much at that period of time. So you should give your pregnant rabbit like 120 grams of pellets in a day at that period she's pregnant. And then when you notice she has started cutting down the amount of feed she's eating, then you can be giving her the normal 100 grams. So let's come to the normal rabbits, like the rabbit that have babies, newborn babies that have not started eating, and the ones that have babies that have already started eating. So for those ones that have babies that have not started eating, you know she's still breastfeeding them. Yes, she's breastfeeding them and she needs a lot of feed. So for this particular rabbit like this, you need to feed them up to 120 grams or even up to 200 grams, because they do lose a lot of breast milk. They lost a lot of energy when breastfeeding their rabbits. So for me in my farm, I do 150. If I'm giving 100 grams, I boost it up by half, like I add up 50 grams. So in my farm, my own method, I don't measure in grams. I do a handful for the rabbit. So once I do a handful for the rabbit, I try as much as possible to give it half of that hand again for those ones that are breastfeeding the babies, because they need to breastfeed them and they need to be jumping into the nesting box. Those ones lost a lot of milk, just like a woman that is breastfeeding. She needs to feed very well. So you need to feed those ones 150 grams because they do breastfeed their kids. And for those ones that have babies that have already started eating, those ones are the ones that you should be feeding more. If possible, you should even put up to 300 grams of pellets in their feeders. Because let's take for instance, they have 5 kids. These 5 kids are going to still breastfeed on her. These 5 kids are going to still eat from these pellets. So she has to eat very well. If she does not eat very well, you will notice, in short, no matter how you feed them, when once they have babies that have already started eating, at that period where those kids are almost 3 weeks, you notice she'll start reducing weight. Yeah, that female rabbit is going to start reducing weight because the kids is going to be sucking her. And you know, for baby rabbits that have started eating, you can't really run from them. But if it is those little ones that are just at one place inside the nesting box, once she comes out, she's going to be at rest. But those ones that have already started eating, by that time you have taken out the nesting box. So those rabbits are just going to be chasing the female rabbit up and down the cage all through the day till she lies down. She's not going to have any rest, so she needs to feed very well. And also the rabbit also needs to still feed from that particular feed you are giving. So 300 grams for those ones, if possible, maybe 200, 250 or so. But make sure you feed those ones almost unlimited because those ones eat very well. Yes, they eat very well. The female has to eat. So imagine she has up to like 8 babies. All those 8 babies still have to feed on this particular same feed you are giving her. So if possible, if you notice your rabbit has a lot of babies at this particular time, you can put in 2 feeders. Then maybe your 1 drinker can still be there. 2 feeders can help so that all of them don't get to struggle in one particular feeder. And you know how rabbits do. And once they start eating in this particular form, sometimes one of them just goes into the feeders and blocks the whole space. No other one can eat. So that's why you need to put like 2 or 3 feeders, depends on how many babies the rabbit actually get birth to. This can actually save you some losses so that you don't lose some of your rabbits, because you notice some of your rabbits is going to be growing more than some because they can't really struggle for food like that. I have some rabbit that do like that. No matter how many feeders you put in, most times some grow more than some. Yes, but you need to try all your best to make sure all of them grows at the same pace. Yes. So when it comes to the male rabbit most times they don't really eat much. From my experience, male rabbit don't really eat much, especially my males. I don't know about yours. A lot of farms have their own different ideas and perspective how they share on kind of things. Yes, as far as I'm concerned, rabbit farming, you need to know what works for you. So what we try to do here is to share our own ideas with you guys. So for my male rabbits, they don't really eat much, so I don't feed them much. So 100 grams is just good. 100 grams all through the year. Males don't give birth, males don't get pregnant. So 100 grams all through the year. They're going to serve you, they're going to be crossing, they're going to be doing everything you want them to do very well and very active. The same 100 grams, but you need to be adding some little medications to them so they get active and don't stop crossing within a short period of time. That's just all for the male rabbit. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did find value in this video, I just thought it right to share this particular one with you guys, especially those of you that are beginner rabbit farmers that are just starting rabbit farming of a recent. So you should get this idea, try as much as possible to put it into practice in your farm so that your rabbit don't get issues. Because at least from what I know, I have a bit of knowledge about rabbit farming. So if you follow my footsteps, you might not really get losses like that. And I've read a lot of books, I've done a lot of researches, I've tried a lot of practical things, and the result is what I come to YouTube to share. So if you did like this video, if you like what I do on YouTube, please put on the like button, just click on it, cost you nothing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you can also share this video to other rabbit groups, WhatsApp group, Facebook group, so that a lot of people who are rabbit farmers do learn from these particular tips and stop feeding their rabbit maybe too much or less amount of feed. Depends on how they were doing it before. So thanks for watching this video. Do have a nice day, and as I always say, peace.